In this video, we're given the equation of a line L. It's not quite in the form of a straight line, which is in the form y equals mx plus c, but that's completely fine. It tells us there's a point P with this coordinate here, and it tells us to find the equation of the line that's perpendicular to line L, which is this line here, but that perpendicular line needs to also pass through the point P, which is introduced here. Now, because it's asking for the equation of a line, like I mentioned, that's in the form y equals mx plus c. We want to find two variables. We want to find the value of the gradient of this line that's perpendicular to L. So let's start by doing that, because you always find the gradient before you find the y-intercept, which is the other variable we need to find. So how do we find the gradient of a perpendicular line? Well, what we have to do is the line that we know it's perpendicular to, let's start by putting that in the form of y equals mx plus c. So first we're going to add 4x to both sides. So we have 3y equals 4x plus 21. We can then divide both sides by 3. And when you divide each individual term by 3, this becomes 4 over 3x or 4x over 3, however you prefer to write it. And 21 over 3 is actually 7. If the gradient of line L is 7, the perpendicular gradient to that is minus 1 over that gradient. So minus 1 divided by 4/3 is the same as minus 1 multiplied by the reciprocal of that second fraction. So multiplied by 3/4. And that's equal to minus 3/4. Now that we know the gradient of that perpendicular line, we can put it in the form y equals mx plus c. But just before I do that, I'm going to increase the thickness of the pen. So y equals minus 3/4 x plus c. What we now need is the value of c. Well, we know a coordinate that this perpendicular line crosses through. It tells us that it crosses through point P. At point P, x is equal to 15 and y is equal to 2. So we can substitute y as 2 and x as 15 into this equation and then find the value of c from there. So replacing y with 2, we get 2 is equal to minus 3/4 times 15. Now, this might seem elementary level to some people, but I know some students struggle to multiply fractions and whole numbers. All you do is you multiply the top of the fraction to the whole number, keeping the denominator the same. In this case, minus 3 times 15 is minus 45, and then it's still over that same denominator of 4. So we have minus 45 over 4, and then plus c. In this case, the value of c is found by adding 45 over 4 to both sides. Before you do that, I want to give you a tip. To add these easier, let's make the denominator of this whole number so that it matches this denominator. Well, if we put 2 as a fraction over 4, we know the numerator will be 8 because 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. This helps because now when you add 45 over 4 to both sides, on the left hand side you'll have 8 over 4 plus 45 over 4. We know how to add fractions where the denominator is the same. We just add the numerators together. So that's equal to 53 over 4, and that's your value of c. Now that you've got your value of the gradient and the value of c, we can combine that into one massive expression and say y is equal to minus 3/4 x plus 53 over 4. And that's the answer to this question. Hopefully that made sense. So you always want to find two variables when finding the equation of a line, the gradient and the y-intercept, which we've managed to do in this question. Be sure to leave a like if the video helped and subscribe. I'd appreciate it a lot. Thanks for watching and have a nice rest of your day. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped. If you have any tutoring inquiries, be sure to visit my website www.excellineducation.co.uk. It's on the first link in the description too.